Right people, welcome back to the YouTube. So I'm about to go and do a food shop for the week, get my food in to make sure that I hit my macronutrients for the whole week, and we're staying on plan, right? In my last YouTube video, you saw, actually not my last YouTube, the one previous, I got my blood work done, and I'm gonna be going over that and what the cycle is for the next, well, we'll see how long we're gonna run it for, but bloods are looking good at the moment. We'll do another blood test in 6 weeks, and that will determine how long we're gonna run this cycle for. Also gonna take you through my full leg day, and yeah, take you along my journey. We've just done our food shop, okay? So I roughly spend about, so this was £89, but I roughly spend about £60 a week on my food shop. And so it's realistically not even that much when you think about it. When you think about the days that you go out and you have lunch every single day at work, getting your Tesco meal day, etc., I bet you spend more on me, and I probably 3-4 times the amount. Okay, so my macro breakdown at the moment is about 3,200 calories, 197 grams of protein, 428 grams of carbs, and 55 grams of fats. Right, so we've got a big leg day in today. So we are gonna get the tablets that I take pre-workout. It's an absolute madness. So my Anavar, crazy pumps, obviously a steroid. And then we have got this from Freak Labs, right? This has got a lot of beta alanine in it. So this is gonna help you have that crazy focus. So then we have a GDA. A GDA is basically, that is something that's gonna actually help with the utilization of carbohydrates. So for every 50 grams of carbs, I take one of these. Right, so we just pulled up a greatness, and we are going to be getting that big leg day in today. I'm just going through my book because you should always be noting down your workouts so you can progressively overload, especially in your gaining phase, because there are going to be times that you're going to put your food up and it's not always necessary. If you're looking fuller, even if your weight is dropping but you're looking fuller, more muscle is going on. So it's not always necessary to put on more food, and this is a big indicator that you're putting on more muscle, because you're getting stronger, more tissue is definitely going on. So big leg day gonna go down, and I'm also gonna run you through, while I warm up, my cycle and the reasons why I'm so happy with my health and where it's at, and why you really don't need to be running that much gear. Right, shout out Beast Labs. So went over to Dubai to represent them, and this is their new pre-workout charge, which is also a collaboration with Refined Nutrition. I'm not gonna lie, it's got a lot of beta alanine in it. The caffeine in it is mad as well. So the stimulation is sick. So going over my actual blood test, okay? So cortisol, even though cortisol is what actually wakes you up in the morning, and this was done pre-first meal, it's actually within range. So this is crazy, which I'm really happy about. This was this actual stress hormone, okay? The fact that my thyroid is in a really good place, which means that my metabolism is gonna be in a really good place as well, because those hormones in sync. Your T4 and T3 conversion is also on point. Obviously, this makes a lot of sense, right? So, male follicular stimulating hormone. That is the hormone which actually produces testosterone within your brain. If you're taking it synthetically, of course, you're not going to be producing it in your brain as much because you're injecting it into yourself. So the fact that that is obviously not, there's no reading for it basically, shows that obviously the testosterone I'm using is actually very good, okay? The free testosterone is obviously ridiculously high because I'm taking it synthetically. So all of these things are really good and in place, right? Sex hormones in a really good place, right? Testosterone's in a really good place. Iron, all my lipids are in a good place. Creatine, obviously high, but that's obviously due to the fact that I train a lot. That shows that I train hard. Those are the sort of things that even though they're out of range, you would expect them to be out of range. So that's not a problem at all. And then HDL, right? HDL being on just in range, right? This means that I probably need to get some blood out my system. The actual amount of platelets within my body is like very dense. So giving blood would actually help this, right? So this is something that you need to keep an eye on. But the fact that all of my other lipids are completely within range means there's nothing for me to worry about. My health is in really good nick. Hematocrit, this is something that I would expect to actually be on the higher side, where I've obviously taken synthetics. Your blood, it's the amount of blood volume. This means I probably need to up my telestrophy, right, a little bit to actually decrease my blood volume. But these are all things that, because I've gone and got my bloods done, I know how much I can take for a cycle. If you look at my client here, right, his first ever cycle was a 250 tests and 200 masts with 25 mcgs of Proviron daily. That is a basic, very low cycle. But the guy grew 6 kilos, got leaner in 10 weeks. Right, okay, so adductors. So now that I'm not wearing the long shorts on stage anymore, and I'm gonna be wearing the tiny little panties. It sounds so weird, right? When you're doing your back, double back by, you wanna be able to see your adductors coming through, or else you're always gonna have them skinny twig legs, right? Adductors aren't just for females. Some people call them good girls, yeah, because you're closing your legs, but like, bro, you need to have them thick adductors, right? Or else your legs are always gonna look like a little bitch. So I've never done a low rep set on adductors, but we're doing 7 to 11s now, for 2 working sets. This is gonna bring up the actual adductor itself and bring up the size. Right, so when it comes to your form, it should look exactly the same as your warm-up sets. Same tempo, same range of motion. If your posture has to change to get the rep, don't go for it. Because all you're gonna do in the long run is injure yourself. And the longer we're in the gym, the more gains we can actually make. So make sure you're actually sticking to your form. Standardize everything. Make sure your reps are 6 to 8 seconds, and that's how you get the gains. Structuring your warm-up sets. First, you need to think about your working rep range. If your working rep range is a low rep range, why are you gonna do 10, 15 reps for your warm-up set? Okay, what it should be is how I like to do it. If I'm doing 2 warm-up sets, this obviously depends on your knees, how much you need to warm up, right? But I always go 50% of my working set for my first warm-up set, and 75% for my second set. And it's just literally about feeling the contraction. Fuck. I started cycling on Monday, and people are probably going to think I'm bullshit, but that went way too smoothly. And that shows that it's either the food is on point and I've had a good night's sleep and progression's good, or cycle's already started to kick in. Next week, I'm not going to push weight up, right? I beat my rep range, but if I start pushing weight up too quickly, this is where you really run into problems, because your tendons do not grow at the same rate your muscle does when you're on a cycle. So you need to be so careful. Make sure form is standardized. Every single rep is nice and slow, because you can start pushing weight that you haven't pushed before, and very quickly you're going to run into joint problems as soon as you come off cycle. Fuck. Oh, Jesus. So, obviously standardizing form, every rep should look the same, okay? Well, with this, right, you really want to make sure that you try and keep your feet as straightforward as you can, as much as your ankle mobility allows you to. What you're trying to get is core tension, which means knee flexion, which means you need to get your knees over toes. The beautiful thing about this Cybex machine here, yeah, is that as you actually go into the bottom of the rep, the pad actually twists back on you, which allows your heels to roll back, getting you more knee flexion. You're gonna have a big window with your food, right? And this is gonna stop you having as much energy. So having 20 grams of cyclodextrin within this basically breaks the gap in between my meals. So I'm getting 20 grams of carbohydrates in. And you never, right, anyone who tells you to get BCAAs doesn't know anything about gym, because branch chain amino acids is just some of the amino acids we need. Whereas EAAs is the essential amino acids that we need to stop lactic acid buildup and photosynthesize proteins while we're training, to give us protein and stop the breakdown while we're training. So, wrapping up the workout now for today. It's been a really, really productive one. I've PB'd on quite a few exercises, but now it's going to be about standardizing form for a week at least before we push up the weight again, because I want to make sure that everything is staying so on point. And I'm starting to feel quite tight in my front delt. I had a problem with my rotator cuff last year, so I really do not want to push weight too fast and end up injuring myself and then taking myself outside the gym. It's more like, even if you have to go slightly lighter and you do more reps above your rep range, being in the gym is what's actually going to get you the gain. So I'm just enjoying training at the moment, watching everything fly out very quickly, but I need to be very, very careful. And as well, moving to here, where they've literally just got the best of every single piece of equipment. No bullshit equipment, extra, like any sort of weird shit that you wouldn't need. It's just the best of every single piece of equipment. In the summer of this year, well, October, not summer, I competed in men's physique. So the priority has been bringing up my legs. I feel like we're doing that so far. They're not too bad. The pins are actually growing a little bit. So we're currently sitting at, do you know what, dropped 1.5 kilos overnight. I feel like I was holding on to a lot of water retention from the fluid. So currently sitting at 90.7. Not bad, not bad. There's a lot more growing to do, definitely on the pin. The upper chest is going to be a priority for me. I feel like back's always been a strength, so it's all right. But that's the YouTube for the day. See you in the next one.